Right now, there's an extraordinary trend among the ultra-wealthy. They are all scrambling to prepare for an impending doomsday scenario. This movement has many facets, but the most striking one is the construction of ultra-luxurious, high-tech fortresses designed to protect them from potential global catastrophes. Unlike the grand castles of the past, these modern-day sanctuaries are no longer being built above ground. They're being buried deep beneath the earth. These underground bunkers are designed to be completely immune to nuclear warfare, deadly pandemics, widespread riots, and even civil wars. But don't picture cramped, dimly lit rooms or makeshift basement shelters. The bunkers the ultra-rich are building are nothing short of sprawling, self-sustaining underground cities, reflecting their limitless wealth in every possible way. Some are spending millions, others hundreds of millions, on these subterranean mansions, equipped with everything they need to survive indefinitely. And this isn't just a passing trend among a handful of billionaires. What once seemed like a far-fetched idea straight out of a sci-fi movie has now turned into a booming industry. In fact, experts predict that in the next decade, the demand for these elite survival complexes will skyrocket. So, what's really going on? Do the world's richest people know something we don't? What exactly are they preparing for, and why now? Let's take a closer look. Oh, and before we dive in, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. It all started when Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, made headlines for purchasing a vast portion of Hawaii's land and building a $270 million fortress-like estate called Ko'olau Ranch, spanning an astonishing 5.5 million square meters. This massive property is surrounded by 2-meter-high walls and employs hundreds of local Hawaiians to maintain its grounds. Security patrols roam the beaches on ATVs, keeping a watchful eye on the estate. But what's truly intriguing is what lies beneath. Hidden underground is a 500-square-meter doomsday bunker, designed to withstand the unthinkable. While details remain scarce due to strict secrecy, reports suggest that the bunker is fortified against nuclear blasts and equipped with self-sustaining food and energy sources. And Zuckerberg? He's just one of the many ultra-wealthy individuals quietly securing a place to ride out the apocalypse. It is widely known that Bill Gates has private bunkers built beneath each of his mansions. Similarly, celebrities like Elon Musk, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Shaquille O'Neal, and Tom Cruise are rumored to have installed secret shelters or panic rooms in their homes. Additionally, in 2022, PayPal's co-founder, Peter Thiel, attempted to construct a large-scale survival complex in the remote mountains of New Zealand. However, authorities rejected his request. As for the current status of these projects, it's unclear. But according to companies specializing in bunker construction, countless ultra-wealthy individuals are investing in underground sanctuaries, particularly in New Zealand and Alaska. The appeal of these isolated locations lies in their ability to remain among the last unaffected areas in the event of civil unrest, nuclear conflict, or large-scale biological and chemical warfare. But it's not just those locations. In the United States, an old missile silo in Arkansas was repurposed into a high-end bunker and living space, with a restoration cost of nearly $1 million. Similarly, in Europe, former coal mines and hidden shelters deep within the Swiss Alps are becoming increasingly popular among those preparing for an uncertain future. The bunkers built by the ultra-wealthy come with features beyond imagination. Many are more luxurious than five-star resorts. They include LED systems that simulate natural sunlight, hydroponic farms and fish hatcheries that allow for year-round food production, climate-controlled swimming pools, artificial waterfalls, bowling alleys, private cinemas, spas, gyms, and even yoga studios. These underground mini-worlds function like self-sustaining micronations, completely isolated from the surface. They are equipped with advanced water filtration systems, independent power plants, massive generators, and chemical and radiological air filtration units. Food supplies are meticulously planned to last for decades, with some bunkers designed to sustain multiple generations. And despite being underground, they still offer high-speed internet, satellite communication, virtual reality rooms, and even artificial skylights with indoor gardens to help maintain psychological well-being during long stays. These are, without a doubt, marvels of modern engineering. But this is also a stark reminder of the ever-growing gap between the ultra-rich and the rest of society. Many of these bunkers cost between $15 to $20 million, while some projects exceed $100 million. Though the industry is expanding, two companies lead the market. One of them is SAFE, Strategically Armored and Fortified Environments, run by Al Corby, a key figure in luxury bunker construction. According to Corby, one of their clients, a high-profile billionaire, wanted to ensure that no one could reach his family in case of an uprising or an attack. So, Corby built him a modern fortress on a 1 square kilometer estate. This structure was designed to withstand a nuclear explosion from 1.5 kilometers away. But that wasn't enough. The estate was surrounded by a 10-meter-deep moat, filled with water. Still not secure? They added a layer of flammable chemicals on the water's surface, so if an attack happened, the owner could set the moat on fire to deter intruders. And what if an airborne assault occurred? Apache helicopters or paratroopers? The estate was fitted with water cannons capable of taking down threats from 200 meters away. Still not satisfied, they reinforced the perimeter with walls strong enough to stop a truck moving at 120 kilometers per hour. And in case of a vehicle assault, special tunnels were designed to trap intruders and flood them with gas. Absurd, right? But one bunker isn't enough for these people. Both Zuckerberg's Hawaiian estate and this billionaire's fortress feature multiple interconnected bunkers, linked by underground tunnels. So if one fails, they can escape to another. Some companies even sell shared access to these bunkers. For hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can purchase a membership-like pass, similar to a luxury vacation club, that guarantees you a spot in one of these shelters in case of a global catastrophe. But why go to such extremes? Well, the rise of doomsday-themed movies and documentaries in recent years has played a big role. After all, it's not just us watching these films. The ultra-rich are watching them too. They discuss these scenarios among themselves, and unlike ordinary people, they have the wealth and resources to prepare for the worst. When you have unlimited money and time, why not plan for every possible future? But here's the thing. Doomsday prepping isn't just a trend among the ultra-rich. Back in the 1980s, during the height of the Cold War and the ever-present threat of nuclear war, a movement known as survivalism began to take shape in the United States. This movement, often referred to as the prepper community, consists of people who prepare for potential natural disasters, civil unrest, and global crises. These individuals plan for both short-term and long-term emergencies by building their own bunkers, stockpiling weapons, storing food and water, and even training themselves to survive without electricity or modern infrastructure. Many of them learn first aid, self-defense, and wilderness survival skills to ensure they're ready for anything. Honestly, I believe everyone should have some level of preparedness for catastrophic events. Knowing basic first aid, having an evacuation plan, or even keeping a small supply of non-perishable food at home isn't a bad idea. After all, being prepared never hurts. Especially when you consider that we are moving further away from World War II, and as time passes, we seem to forget the destruction it caused. Because of this, we are becoming more reckless, engaging in behaviors that could very well trigger a third world war. The harsh reality is that a global catastrophe, such as nuclear war, may not be as far off as we'd like to think. However, the problem is that rational concern often spirals into exaggerated paranoia, and not just political conspiracies. Some members of the prepper community genuinely believe in outlandish scenarios, like a zombie outbreak or an alien invasion, as legitimate threats. This isn't exactly a normal or healthy belief system. What's worse, as with many conspiracy theories, once someone starts believing in one, they tend to fall for more. Preppers who fear a zombie apocalypse may also believe that governments are secretly developing zombies in underground labs, which then shapes their political views. Others buy into UFO myths, which can lead them down a rabbit hole of pseudo-history, like theories about the lost continent of Atlantis or ancient aliens building the pyramids. It's a slippery slope, and for some, these beliefs become a fundamental part of their identity. Over time, this mindset completely consumes them, often preying on those who lack proper education or critical thinking skills. Of course, this is a problem, but comparing the apocalypse preparations of multi-billionaires to what regular people might do isn't exactly fair. When an average citizen spends a few $1,000s on emergency supplies, it's usually because they're overestimating the likelihood of a disaster. Yes, an apocalyptic event could happen, But statistically speaking, the chances of it happening within our lifetime are quite low. Meanwhile, the ultra-rich treat this tiny risk as if it were imminent and prepare accordingly, sometimes in absurdly extravagant ways. For them, doomsday prepping isn't paranoia, it's an investment. Even if one of these luxury bunkers costs $20 million for someone worth $100 billion, that's like an average person spending $5. Would you spend $5 to protect yourself and your family from a potential catastrophe? Of course you would. No matter how low the risk, it's still worth it. This is exactly the Pascal's wager that the ultra-wealthy are playing. If doomsday never happens, they lose what is, to them, a trivial amount of money. They wouldn't even notice it. But if disaster does strike, then their survival could depend on it. So for them, spending millions on an underground fortress isn't reckless, it's a no-brainer. The ultra-rich have recognized a dangerous trend. The wealth gap between the rich and the poor is widening at an unprecedented rate. The poor are getting poorer, while the rich continue to amass unimaginable fortunes. Consider this. Right now, the combined net worth of America's three wealthiest individuals, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, exceeds the total wealth of the poorest 50% of the US population. That means just 3 people own more than 60 million families, or 165 million citizens combined. And the gap is only growing. In 2019, you needed to add up the wealth of the top 5 richest individuals to reach the same disparity. In 2017, it took the top 6. At this rate, it won't be long before a single person holds more wealth than 200 to 300 million Americans combined. And this isn't just a US phenomenon, it's happening worldwide. The wealthy know that this imbalance can't last forever. Historically, whenever wealth has been distributed this unevenly, it has always ended in violence and upheaval. The likelihood of this playing out somewhere in the world, sooner or later, is very high. And if it happens in one place, it could easily trigger domino effects in other nations. So, is it really surprising that the ultra-rich are already building self-sufficient survival bunkers to prepare for the inevitable? Let's be honest. How effective are these multi-million-dollar bunkers in the long run? Sure, they might provide temporary shelter, but what happens after a few months? Humans are social creatures. No matter how advanced their underground worlds are, isolation will eventually take its toll. Artificial skies and luxury amenities can only do so much when resources are finite. And here's the irony. Many of these billionaires are already preparing for this breakdown in trust. They've hired private security forces to protect them. But what happens when money loses its value? Why would a heavily armed guard remain loyal when they could just take over the bunker instead? Some billionaires are even signing post-apocalyptic survival contracts with security firms, promising resource-sharing agreements in the event of societal collapse. But let's be real. How enforceable would those be in a lawless world? If the ultra-rich truly want to prepare for the future, maybe they should fix the world they're so desperate to escape from by addressing the climate crisis, wealth inequality, economic instability, and failing social structures before it's too late. Because at the end of the day, money can't buy a civilization. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more thought-provoking content.